Hello, welcome to another episode of Raine B Plays The Sims 4, Building Newcrest here. I went back to Midtown Meadows and scrapped it, and I built a bowling alley. Don't know if I did it correctly though. I thought like restaurants and is it the doctor's office, the police precinct, that they had already built venues. But they didn't have a bowling venue. They just had a bowling room. And this looks like something you would put in your house. And I thought, well, I'll go with it. So I tried, and I kept it this way. But it still looks like something you would find in a house. It doesn't look like a genuine bowling alley. I tried very hard to make the outside look genuine. But I don't know about these separate room bowling lanes. I suppose it wouldn't be a big deal for a sim or even a party of sims to choose a door, go in, and start bowling. I have never done this, so I have got no clue how this feature works. But I'm curious. It just didn't occur to me until it was too late. You know, like way after the fact. I'd already made the video. I'd made the venue. I'd walked away. And then later on that night, I'm like, I wonder if I could have just taken the alleys and set them next to each other. Because obviously we all know, well, I shouldn't say that, but most of us know, a bowling alley has a minimum of what, 10 lanes? I don't know if I could have done that. Not that I wanted a 10-lane bowling alley in Newcrest, but the separate rooms bother me. And I don't know that it's going to be a good idea if you wanted more than one sim to show up there. And then there wasn't the option of saying, this is a bowling alley, people. I had to choose generic lot, which didn't give you any feature choices at all. So it was a bit like a residential, only it's not a residential. It's just a generic lot. So I don't know if the bar will work. I didn't put any food. I did give them a bathroom, but there's no food in here. And I kind of wanted it because some bowling alleys, look, I'm not a bowler. I got into it for maybe less than half a year one time, and then that was it. I enjoyed it. I was practicing hard enough to get mediocre at it. And then one job where I worked, they had I think it was a Christmas get-together. You weren't allowed to invite any of your family. It was just the work people. Went to this bowling alley, and the, excuse my French, bitch I was working under. Every job I ever worked at, I was always treated like an 11-year-old. Nobody liked. I was talked down to. I was belittled. I was just treated like they tolerated me. They didn't want me there. They didn't want to get to know me. They definitely did not want to make friendship of any kind. I was constantly denigrated and yelled at and belittled. And she was really good at it. And then the owner was apparently her really good friend. She would come out of her office and just start barking at me like a pit bull in front of everybody. And I never understood it. It's like, can't you just talk to me like a normal person? Regardless, they're the ones who destroyed my interest in bowling because we had to do that for the Christmas thing. And she was handing out certificates of completion. And naturally, I got the worst one. And it said something like, last place loser, why bother? And, you know. And they all laughed. They thought it was so funny. Ha ha ha. I quit shortly after that. This is why I don't want to work. This has been how it's been every job I've ever had. It always ends up this way. It's me, okay? I've come to realize it's me. There's something wrong with my personality. Nobody likes me. Nobody ever will. They take one look at me and they judge me, wrapped up in brown, ugly wrapping, saying, oh, yuck, I just don't like her. Okay, so end of that. But that's why I have got very little clue about bowling alleys other than what I've seen in the few that I went to. But all the lanes are together. You just pick one and start bowling, and the chairs are behind it. So I suppose I could go back. Maybe, well, I didn't want to knock down the walls. I thought the walls were kind of cool. They're the same, I just chose different colors. I like what I did, and I like the end result, but I've got to wonder if, minus the walls, if you can stack those tracks, lanes, side by side. I have no idea if it's even possible or if there's a different type of bowling alley. I just didn't notice it because I went with a preset room. I'll have to look into it, but I don't know that it's that big of a deal. I didn't want to go too cuckoo with outside decorations or anything like that. I figured big trees, some bushes, just to spruce it up a tiny little bit. But there was one sign that I liked for the outside because it looked like it said, "This is a bowling alley, come on in." But in fact, it's just a scoreboard. It's a leaderboard for inside. But I messed with it a little bit and I kept it on the front of the building. I don't know. And then they had that tall, very traditional looking bowling alley sign with the pins and all that. I think that's so cute. I'm not a huge fan of retro, and I never really was. Well, I shouldn't say that because I love Art Deco. And some items from the 1920s, 30s, and even maybe 40s, I like. There's just something about them. They're not necessarily beautiful or iconic items, but they just say, "This is 1943," just by looking at it. That I like. So these bowling alley items, I think they're funny. And I think putting it all together like this, I think it worked. As far as packs go, I'm not sure I use that many, but the stalls in this bathroom are from University. And I think that's it. Unless if you don't have the bowling, oh dear. What's it called? Bowling night? I don't know. Huh. Well, yeah, I don't know. Oh, it doesn't matter. If you don't want to download it, you don't have to download it. It's no big deal. This is my Newcrest build. I wanted to give them venues. And this was one idea that I had. But I was a little disappointed. I remember when you first download a pack and then you open the game, a pop-up screen will say, "Would you like to make a tiny house? Would you like to make a restaurant?" I thought that would, not that it would occur with bowling because I downloaded this a long time ago. I don't remember if that pop-up screen appeared at that time, but I seriously thought that there was a venue for this, and I just didn't see it anywhere. You know what? I also could have gone to the gallery and looked for other bowling alleys, just probably even for inspiration. But I am building my own little world here. I didn't want to... Would that be stealing? I didn't want to take from the gallery in order to complete that. So I sound ridiculous. I know. Apologies. I'm trying to think of things to say. I do have things to say, and then they escape me. And if I would only write them down, everything would be just grand. But other than binge watching YouTube videos, which I'm really getting tired of, a great way to fall asleep is to watch YouTube videos. They put me to sleep so fast. I get so tired. But also, every night after I'm done with all this work, I like to relax with, relax being the key word here, EA's SimCity. I think I've mentioned this in previous videos, but I do have the old copy of an old game, and there's no, help for it anymore. It was doomed from the word go anyway, so it's not the most pleasant of games. It's in a rut, and no matter what you do, no matter where you build, no matter how you build it, you're going to get the same issues and dilemmas cropping up. And then somewhere along the line, the game sorts itself out and everything works a little bit better. But I still like, in my downtime, to turn on that game and just try to build a city and see how far I can get before it just implodes on itself. I've never been able to get an entire world up and running sufficiently, and it's very frustrating. So it's like a goal of mine. Also with Animal Crossing, I do have my new Nintendo Switch, and at this moment I've just borrowed the controllers on the new one and added them to my old one so that I can continue with my Animal Crossing island that I'm on. But I think after Easter, I'm going to use the other switch to create a new island, and I'm going to want to record that. The scary thing is that I tend to cuss when I'm live playing a game because I've mentioned it before, I am very short-tempered. So it's a cautionary tale that I hope I'll be able to share with you. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this. I thank you very much for watching it and supporting my channel. I really appreciate that. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.